Okay, today is August 27th, and we're just giving a short update on the transfer market doings of AC Milan. We're going to start kind of from the front, go to the back, and kind of see how that goes here. So initially in the front, it's mainly just a source of renewals at this point. It looks like Ibrahimovic should be renewing. It's been a long, drawn-out saga, which, of course, with everybody knows his agent, Mino Raiola, who is essentially a turd with legs. I think that he's going to be renewing for around $7 million. Initially, it was proposed as $6 million. Milan wanted 5. I believe Mino Raiola wanted 8. They kind of came to an agreement around 7. Doesn't really matter to me. I think he's well worth it. If you look at Milan pre-Ibrahimovic this past season and look at Milan post-Ibrahimovic, we were one of the best teams, if not the best team in the league after the COVID break, and we were very, very middling, if not straight up bad before then. You can also see it in the performances of very underwhelming players such as Franck Kessié and in particular Hakan Çalhanoğlu, who became awesome players after a little bit of Ibrahimovic's influence, whereas prior to that, I was pretty sure that we were going to be selling them on because they just hadn't performed in a long, long time. I still fear that, this may have just been a honeymoon period and those players can't keep it up for too much longer, but we will see. And at least they have Ibrahimovic with them again this season. So it seems like we're not going to do too much more movement as far as strikers go this season. We might bring somebody else in, but I think it's just a renewal for Ibrahimovic. Got a couple young guys coming in. There's the Swedish striker from a club that Ibrahimovic owns, Hammarby, who's going to back him up, as well as Rafael Leao. We may use Colombo, who is a youth product as well. So we'll kind of see what happens with that. As far as out wide, there has not been any progress as far as a right winger, as has been said. The links with Federico Chiesa have been few and far between. It was a very hot story earlier on this transfer season, a couple weeks back. Now I haven't heard anything of it. I hope that we still go for him. I think that would be a massive, massive coup in order to get him a top young player for the right side. It would be a very exciting attacking trident with Rebic, Ibrahimovic, and Chiesa, but we will see. We might just leave it as is, though, and stick with Castillejo, Salamakers, and kind of see where to go from there. That being said, there was another interesting link this past week here. Over the past few days, a lot has been unfolding, and it looks like in particular with Real Madrid, we have been dealing with them for Brahim Diaz. That seems to be one of the main kind of playmaker wingers that we're looking at. He can play on the right. He's primarily an attacking mid, so I think he would be kind of second fiddle to Çalhanoğlu, but he could play on the right. So maybe that's what they're thinking, is that maybe we don't need a high-profile signing for the right wing this year. We should be able to get by and get Brahim Diaz, maybe with a loan with option to buy, have him play backup attacking mid, or he can battle it out on the right to see who starts between Castillejo himself and Salamakers. So maybe that's the idea that Milan is going for right now as far as bolstering the wide play as well as the attacking mid spot. Also for attacking mid, it looks like Daniel Maldini has been featuring a lot in practice, so he may be playing a little bit more of a role than he was playing last season, which was essentially sell the minutes and primarily just sitting on the bench. So it looks like if he does well in training and whatnot, he might get a little more of a backup role and actually be able to play some minutes this season. So we'll see how that goes. It's exciting, but then again, I'm not expecting too much out of him, but we will see. Maybe he can surprise us, and it would be awesome if he was able to become a very good player for us, as anybody donning the Maldini name is okay in my books. Next, we move back to the midfield, which is where every single rumor has been over the past few weeks. It has literally just been Bakayoko, followed by Bakayoko, and how about a little bit more Bakayoko over the past week. That's all we've been hearing, and it seems like we're finally close to securing a loan with option to buy. I think that's totally fine, and I believe the reason why Maldini and Massaro are doing this is because they're just going to loan him for the year. I doubt we're going to redeem his option to buy because it's probably going to be something outrageous like $30 million, which is going to be too much for Bakayoko. But they want a player who is a solid backup and also capable of starting. So I think this is a really good move. In my last video, I talked a lot about this, and I feel like it's nice to bring in actual people who can start rather than just bringing in these young depth signings in a team that really is trying to make that next jump in quality. Remember, we're trying to shoot for Champions League. We're not just trying to finish sixth again, fifth or sixth. So I like bringing in Bakayoko on this type of a deal. And it seems like most of the links with Tonali have kind of died out, although just yesterday and today, very new rumors have started to spiral, which has gotten me a little bit excited since I'm a big Sandro Tonali fan, and I think it's been a long time since we've had a promising young Italian, kind of like a Pirlo. He's not really like a Pirlo. He's a little bit more physical. He's not as delicate and amazing with his passing. He's kind of like a little jack of all trades type of player, but I think he has a huge potential ceiling, and I would love to see him at Milan rather than Inter, seeing as he is a childhood Milan fan as well. So yesterday and today, there's been a lot of links saying that Inter has been sputtering. They're not wrapping up a deal with Tonali yet, and so there may be some room for Milan to pounce. If there's this room, I would love for us to go with him. It's probably going to be a loan with an obligation to buy rather than an option, which I guess is kind of why Brescia is holding out and didn't accept our offer, which we just submitted, I believe, yesterday or the day before. So if we're able to come up with the goods, we might be able to get a steal here, and that would be a big statement saying that, you know what, we're ready to challenge Inter this time. Because of the past few years, all we've been doing is anytime we're linked with some target that's also linked with Juventus or Inter or Roma even, we just lose it. We lose the target almost every time. Nobody really chooses us over that. We don't really try too hard for it, and it would be nice for Milan to change this habit and really start to make a turnaround and make a standout signing and make a statement. So I would love it if that were the case, and we would have 4 very capable starters and one of the best midfields in all of Europe, in my opinion, if we had the 4 of Chiesa, Bennacer, Bakayoko, and Tonali. I think that's a super strong midfield and very versatile, which we could play in a 3 or 2-man midfield if needed. So it gives us some actual versatility for formations as well. As far as side backs goes, same old news. We sold Ricardo Rodriguez for pennies, which makes no sense. He's an international fullback. But as Milan always says, we sell our decent talents for absolutely nothing because we think that just getting them off the books is a great value. Yeah, that's what we've thought for a long time. It's pretty much a terrible strategy. We can get more for $2 million for a guy who's not that old and who plays international left back for Switzerland. Either way, we've made the sale. It is what it is. Nothing we can do about it. He will be going to Torino, I believe, which will be pretty cool. I think Torino has a pretty solid team, which would be cool to watch. Backup left back, there has not been much movement on Lexalt, and so if he doesn't move, he'll stay, and he'll be the backup to Theo Hernandez. If he does move, then I'm not sure if we're going to be going for Anthony Robinson or not, but there's been no news as far as that goes. For center back, we are still trying for Milenkovich. It looks like we might be able to insert Leo Duarte into some type of a deal, but I just don't know if they're going to go for it. Duarte's been injured so much. He has shown nothing yet, so I don't know how Fiorentina can possibly use that to reduce the cost when they've seen nothing from Duarte, and he's barely played because he's been injured since he got here. A more likely scenario would be Paqueta, but I feel like we're probably going to keep Paqueta in the hopes that with one more year with Ibrahimovic and the squad having some confidence, maybe Paqueta is able to do something a little bit better, improve his gameplay, and kind of increase his value again and kind of rediscover some form. And then we'll see, if it's right to sell him or not once he gains some value back. Or if he turns out to be a great player like everybody thought he was going to be, just keep him. So I don't think we're going to sell him this summer. I think we would if we were going to be able to get Chiesa for him or Milenkovich, but I don't know if Fiorentina is going to go for it. So either way, that's kind of the main deal we're working out with Fiorentina. Will we give them Duarte? Will we give them Paqueta? Is it going to be enough to either get Milenkovich or possibly Chiesa? I don't think so, but we'll see. And lastly, for right back, it looks like still the target is Serge Aurier. I really don't think this is going to be some great signing for us. I'm kind of surprised we're still going for this. I know Calabria has not been amazing. Conti has absolutely sucked, and I don't think he deserves to be here anymore. I think he hasn't been the same player after his injury, and so I would really rather sell Conti, and I would keep Calabria personally. But for some reason, we're keep trying to offload Calabria, probably just because it's a pure capital gain as he was a youth product, which I still think this guy would fight for the shirt, and so I would keep Calabria. I know that Aurier, when he's on his game, is a good upgrade over Calabria for sure, but he is just as much off his game that he is on it. That's been his main criticism over the years, is he's very hit or miss. I wouldn't waste the money on it, but it seems like they really want to, so we're probably going to end up getting him. Don't get too excited about this one. He's going to have some great games, then he's going to have some games where he lets in a game-winning goal from his side. So that's going to be Serge Aurier. It is what it is. I would personally get somebody different, but I think this is the only person we've been linked with over the past week. All the other rumors have faded away. That's pretty much that as far as the transfer roundup goes. It's going to be a very eventful next couple days here, I think, and I'm really crossing my fingers that we get some more news on Tonali. I'm pretty sure nobody else is looking at Bakayoko, so we're going to get him at some point. There's still 1 month left of transfers, but I'm really hoping that we get Tonali, as well as I'm hoping that we either get one of Milenkovich or Chiesa. Ideally both, but I highly doubt it. But man, that would make for such a great transfer season. We'll see what happens. I'm also excited about Brahim Diaz. I think it's a very smart move if we take him on loan with option to buy. He covers a lot of holes that we may have as far as depth goes. So I'll keep you guys posted. Try to make another post in a couple of days, and we'll see where to go from here. Thank you very much for listening. If you like some of the content, I'll try to create more, and make sure you subscribe and like. Take care, and Forza Milan.